Sarah Thompson woke up on a Wednesday morning with a nagging unease twisting in her chest. The sun had barely crept above the rooftops when she peered through her living room window and froze. There, draped in the lazy shadow of a sprawling oak, sat a magnificent lion, its golden mane rippling in the breeze, its dark eyes unblinking as if it were part of the landscape, her breath caught in her throat. Was it a trick of the light? A cruel hallucination? Oh. She pressed her palm against the cool glass and watched the lion's calm poise as her heart thundered. What on earth was it doing on her suburban porch? The question pounded in her mind as the morning light stretched and deepened, and the lion remained utterly still. Waiting for what? Exactly. By Thursday morning, Sarah found herself glued to that same window, her pulse matching the seconds as they ticked away. The lion had not budged. No growl, no pacing, no hunger-driven restlessness. Only that serene, unwavering gaze. Should she call someone? Animal control? The police? The police? Each time she reached for her phone, something about the lion's tranquil presence stopped her. It was as though it belonged, as though it had claimed this patch of lawn in silent invitation. The air felt thick with meaning, an expectant hush that made her skin prickle. Why had it chosen her home? Oh. And what would happen if she ignored it? Day after day, the lion lingered. By Saturday, nearly a week had passed, and Sarah's curiosity overpowered her fear. She spent hours tracing the lion's contours with her eyes, the way its fur caught the morning sun like burnished gold, the gentle rise and fall of its shoulders with each breath. Something about its stillness felt disarmingly familiar, as though she had encountered this exact creature before. Her mind fluttered with possibilities, lost animal, exotic pet escapee, guardian of some ancient secret. But deep down, she felt a quiet certainty that this wasn't coincidence. The longer it stayed, the more she believed this moment was freighted with something significant, something just waiting to be revealed. The following evening, the sky was painted in molten oranges and purples when the lion rose and padded across the lawn toward her front door. Sarah's heart slammed against her ribs, every instinct screaming to bolt. Yet she found herself rooted to the spot, watching the slow, deliberate advance. The world narrowed to two figures on the porch, herself and this wild, regal visitor. Her hand trembled over the doorknob as she wrestled with the urge to slam the door shut and the pull drawing her closer. What demands would it make? What threat might it pose? And then, as the last sliver of sunlight slipped away, she made her choice. She turned the knob with a soft click, swung the door open, and stepped into the cool dusk air. The lion stayed seated, its massive head held high, eyes glowing in the fading light. Sarah knelt, wanting to appear less imposing, and the creature blinked, slow and deliberate, almost in greeting. It did not shift an inch or let out a sound. Instead, it regarded her with an intensity that felt more like recognition than curiosity. Sarah's heartbeat thundered as she extended a hand, palm up toward its thick mane. Was she insane? Yet something in that steady gaze beckoned her forward, a silent promise that she was safe. What she felt then was not fear, but a profound sense of comfort, as if she were meeting an old friend. In that charged silence, a spark of recollection flared to life in Sarah's mind. For she remembered a different time, years ago, nestled in the dense heat of an African jungle. She had wandered away from her safari group, panic swelling with every rustle in the undergrowth. Suddenly, out of the green gloom, a lion had emerged, towering, regal, and utterly silent. Instead of attacking, it had watched her for a heartbeat, then turned and began to walk, pausing to make sure she followed. It led her back to safety without a word, stepping lightly through the brush as though it knew every hidden path. The memory was so vivid, her throat constricted with disbelief. Could this be the same lion? Another wave of memory crashed over her, this time from her childhood. She saw herself as a little girl, summers spent at her grandparents' sprawling country home. Her grandfather had rescued a young lion cub, tending to it like a member of the family. That lion had roamed the fields with her cousins, gentle as a kitten yet regal as a king. It had nuzzled her hand, shared quiet moments beneath the summer sun. Her grandfather's stories had painted it as a guardian, a friend as loyal as any human. Tears pricked her eyes as she realized the threads connecting past and present were weaving together again. Was it possible the same creature had found its way back into her life? The lion stirred, rising once more, and Sarah's feet followed of their own accord. It moved like a ghost across the yard, silent, purposeful, leading her around the side of the house. She stepped through a garden bed where she used to play hide and seek as a child, feeling the soft earth under her shoes. At the far end, the lion paused before a great oak tree with sprawling roots. There, hidden beneath a thick tangle of roots, lay an old wooden box Sarah had never noticed. Her breath caught as the lion nudged it gently with its nose, urging her to claim whatever lay inside. What treasure had been buried all these years, waiting for her to return? Hands trembling, Sarah knelt by the tree. The box was rough with age, its grain weathered by time. She lifted the lid, and a faint creak echoed in the hush of the twilight garden. Inside, nestled in a faded piece of cloth, gleamed a small medallion etched with intricate symbols, half-forgotten runes that seemed to glow in the dim light. A surge of recollection swept through her. Her grandfather's tales of a family heirloom passed down through generations, a token of protection and loyalty. She pressed the medallion lightly, and an ache of recognition of destiny settled in her chest. Why had it reappeared now? The lion lowered its massive head until its mane brushed her shoulder, a gentle rumble vibrating through its chest. Sarah's tears slipped freely as the weight of realization crushed her. This was no random visit. The lion had returned to pass on a duty long entrusted to her bloodline. The medallion was a symbol of guardianship, a mantle her grandfather had worn and now entrusted to her. Her heart pounded with equal measures awe and fear. How could she live up to a legacy she barely understood? Yet the lion's calm presence whispered reassurance. She was not alone. She was not alone. Rising to her feet, Sarah held the medallion against her heart. The lion stood beside her, its amber eyes reflecting the first stars emerging in the sky. In that suspended moment, the world felt as still as if time itself were holding its breath. She closed her eyes and made a silent vow. She would protect the land her family loved, guard the creatures who shared it, and uphold the legacy woven into that small piece of metal. A gentle breeze stirred the oak's leaves overhead, as though the earth itself blessed her promise. Her promise. When Sarah opened her eyes, the lion lowered its head in what felt like a gesture of approval. Its massive form remained steadfast, a bridge between past and future, wildness and home. She slid the medallion around her neck, feeling its reassuring weight against her chest. As she stepped forward into the clearing, lion by her side, she knew that a new chapter had begun. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, human and lion, guardian and guide, bound by memory, purpose, and an unbreakable bond that time itself could not sever. And in that hush of the night, with only the calls of distant owls as witness, Sarah took her first steps into the legacy waiting to be written, and the lion padded in silent promise at her side, ready for whatever lay beyond the horizon. The lion lingered by the gnarled roots for a heartbeat longer, then turned its massive head toward a narrow gap in the underbrush. Sarah's breath caught as moonlight filtered through the leaves, painting silver patterns on the soft moss underfoot. Clutching the medallion tight, she rose and followed. Every footstep felt sacred, like she was treading a path laid out by generations before her. The air smelled of damp earth and pine, and, somewhere in the distance, a nightjar's call rippled through the silence. They moved past ancient stones half buried in ivy, each one etched with symbols that echoed the medallion's design. Sarah paused to trace one with trembling fingertips, feeling a tremor run through her chest, as though the land itself pulsed with anticipation. The lion halted at the edge of a clearing, its silhouette a dark poem against the starlit sky. In the center lay a shallow basin carved from rock, its water shimmering with reflected constellations. Sarah knelt beside it, heart thundering. When she gently dove her hand into the cool water, ripples echoed like distant whispers. The surface stilled, and she saw not only her reflection, but flickers of memory, her grandfather's proud smile, the safari trail under a blazing sun, the lion's steady gaze guiding her home. Above them, the trees sighed as the breeze stirred, carrying an unspoken promise. The role she was born to embrace was waiting beyond the basin's edge, yet, to claim it, Sarah knew she must step forward into the unknown. With the lion's warm breath at her side and the medallion's weight steady against her heart, she took a deep, steadying breath and plunged her hand beneath the water once more, ready for what would surface next.